The process of deliberately creating one's reality. There is a process of how creation or manifesting work. We all want instant results. Why is it? Why do we want things instantaneously? That's because it's an illusion or it's a program that we were sustained to when we were young. Here's the secret, or here's the truth of how it works. Anytime you want to create anything in your life, it takes a process. It's not instantaneous. And a lot of us have been led that way. We think that, hey, if I think a positive thought, if I visualize it, it will come a month or two. Not necessarily, guys. The way your mind operates and the way the nature of the universe operates, everything takes a germination or a process. For example, when you plant a seed, an apple tree, you put that seed in the ground and you leave it. The tree will grow. Do you go out and check the seed? No, you innately know that it must grow. So what prevents us from innately knowing that when we say something or we put something out to create, we don't trust it? We just go and we check. The interesting thing about human beings is this: we have no issue trusting strangers. Think about it. When you drive your car on the highway, you trust the guy next to you that he won't come over in the lane and hit you. You don't know him. You put your money in the banks, you trust strangers, banks could collapse, money could go. But what is it that fails for us to trust the creative process of how the universe works? Why do we trust things, or what I call mortal things, that cannot get us to where we want? But the process to create, we can't trust it. This is a big issue, because if we're not able to trust the creative process, that's where we set up a lag in our manifestation. That's what we set up resistance. So here's the root cause. Here's why we're unable to really trust the process. It's because how our minds interpret and process information, particularly our conscious or intellect mind. You'll hear me refer a lot to the ego, that false self. The ego is not a bad representation. It's just a part of you that just got bad information. But the process is this. We have been conditioned to get things quickly, and because we're developed as problem solvers, we associate things to be solved in a linear time. So our concept of reality is really warped when it comes to creating our biggest desires. Our intellect mind is operating on a rational scale while attempting to operate that rational scale on how the universe creates our manifestations. It's incompatible. That's why we can't trust, because we were taught that everything happens on a rational or intellectual level. And of course, you can't really fault your mind, because what your mind is doing is just doing the best picture it predicts. See, your mind can only go as far as your past. So it would look to things that happened in the past and it will try to recreate that in your future. This is why the process takes us in a loop. So if you want to create what you desire, you have to understand it's a process. Once you understand the process and that the universal definition of time and our conscious mind's definition of time is on two different dimensions, then that's the paradox. Then it can happen quickly, right? Sounds like a paradox, but it's really true, because here's what happens. The minute you understand the process, you're able to focus more on the moment. That's where you can get the information. That's where you can get the instinct, the insights, the intuition to take what I call positive or inspired action to create what you desire. Remember now, all things that create, they come through our subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind doesn't take overnight to create. It takes a repetition. So you have to make the decision to make this a way of life. Because how it works is your subconscious gets the information. It takes time to germinate it, plant it, to feed it, and then it will grow. Think about this. Let's go back to that seed. When we plant that seed, did you know within the seed's component, the DNA structure within that seed was already pre-programmed and planned? That means you put the seed in, you don't have to do anything to try to make it grow. It was automatically programmed. That little seed must become a huge apple tree. Guess what? Same program is within your consciousness. That's why we must trust the creative process and stop trying to force or speed up what we call time. You must learn to structure beliefs. It is our beliefs that create. You can actually do something right now. If you take something that's not currently true, let's say you may be struggling financially, but if you continue to say every night, I am wealthy with abundance. Why am I so happy and abundant? Money loves me. If you just start to build a wealth mindset, even if it's currently not true, your reality must become that way because you're impressing your subconscious mind. See that? So the creation process is a process. There's nothing around it. We must learn to accept it. Once we accept it, then we can truly enjoy the journey. And that's when we can take things or create things that will make seem like time flies. And to get technical, it's all just illusions because the only time is now. So when you can understand and focus your attention in the moment, we can get into that flow to create. The process of manifesting takes its own time. It doesn't apply by our rules. But the secret ingredient now, guys, is our beliefs and repetition. So, enjoy the process. Continue to do the work. The results must show. You must become that which you think. Your subconscious mind works perfectly. It's a miraculous machine. But again, it just doesn't work overnight. The reason why it doesn't work overnight again is because of how it's designed. It's designed to learn through repetition. And remember, the seeds that you desire is already in you. If you have something in your heart that you want to create and you've been working on it, if it's in your heart, it's your DNA, it's in the program, just like that little seed. So it's ready to manifest. So you plant it and let it go. Let it go is being detached from the outcome of any situation. That's when the real magic happens. So just keep in mind that everything has its process and that our intellect mind and our subconscious mind operate on two different time levels. So do not use your rational mind to dictate when or how your desires will come. Instead, just use your rational mind to see the goal, to put it in the present moment and to visualize it. Then trust your higher mind through your higher self and start to trust the universal process. How do I trust the universal process? Very simple, by letting go. That's how you trust it. Knowing that the DNA, the program is within you to create whatever you want, and you let it go and you up your beliefs and you use repetition, you will manifest or create whatever you desire.